Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Paul. Hope you're having an amazing day. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about some very exciting news concerning Nvidia's RTX 50 series of graphics cards. Specifically, the frequency of the GPUs has seen a massive uplift if the rumours are to be believed, running at almost 3 GHz for the base frequency. And you can imagine, based on the behaviour of the RTX 40 series of GPUs, for example, what we could see for the boost frequencies. Now, as a quick reminder, the RTX 5090 and other high-end GPUs in the RTX 50 lineup are going to be based on GB202. The full configuration of the die is 192 SMs, allegedly. Obviously, this has not been confirmed yet by Nvidia, with a 512-bit memory bus. The RTX 5090, though, will be shaved down. The rumours are that it's a 448-bit bus, but according to my sources anyway, this has not been 100% decided by Nvidia. It's really going to come down to multiple factors, not least of which what they feel they can kind of get away with in terms of the market. Obviously, Nvidia are not really facing too much competition from AMD because RDNA 4 is going to be, roughly speaking anyway, similar in performance, at least in rasterization, to RDNA 3's high-end SKUs. I'm speaking roughly, of course, 10 or 20%. Ray tracing will be a much different story, I think, for RDNA 4, but obviously nothing to compete against the flagship RTX 50 GPUs. And as for the SM count for the 5090, again, there is a lot of conflicting information. I've heard anything from, let's say 160 SM to 170 SM, but again, at this point, there is nothing solid, and Nvidia are allegedly just testing out different configurations, so even if one leak is true, it doesn't mean it will end up shipping like that. And we've seen this behavior before with the RTX 30 series, the RTX 40 series, and so on and so forth. Basically, we're just not quite there yet for the release of the GPUs. Speaking of which, just a quick note for the release date. I'm still getting a lot of conflicting information. Some folks are telling me the RTX 50 series is definitely launching, for the desktop anyway, in the fourth quarter of this year. However, there are also a number of folks who are stating that this is untrue and it's going to be pushed back to Q1 next year. There have been some leaks online for the mobile GPUs which do indicate that we're looking at Q2 for the mobile parts. But mobile and desktop are not really the same thing. Anyway, but let's get back to the clock frequency stuff. So yeah, one of the long-standing rumours that I've heard regarding the RTX 50 GPUs is that we will be seeing over 3 GHz for the boost frequencies. And a well-known leaker, Panzerlied, they've actually put out a lot of stuff previously, which has turned out to be very legitimate. They also put out the rumour for the RTX 5090, featuring a cut-down 448-bit bus. They are stating looking around 2.9 GHz for the base frequency. Now obviously GPU boost is a thing for modern GPUs, assuming we can infer the same behaviour for RTX 50. Obviously, it's probably likely we can, but probably is not 100% confirmed, as everyone knows in technology. So I certainly think like 3.2, 3.3 GHz, depending on TDP and other things, is probably quite likely. And we can kind of see that anyway with the RTX 4090. Let me just give you guys a quick demonstration if you're not too familiar with the clock frequencies. I'm using a Palette Game Rock card, and I'll just quickly show you with Doom Eternal. Now, excuse the slightly rough presentation of this, but this is just a quick, demonstration. I am essentially playing one-handed here because I'm having to hold my phone. This is at the very beginning of the game. This is with everything maxed out. And you can see that we're looking at, well, around 2.7 GHz with everything running at default speed. I'll just quickly show you guys the settings here. And we are, again, looking at everything maxed out. And obviously we're getting quite a few frames a second. So yes, this game does run really nicely. I have to admit, I am rather excited for the sequel as well. Let me just really quickly Alt and Tab, and let me bring up Afterburner. There we go. I was like, where are you, Afterburner? Now, power limit for this specific model is limited to 100. I can actually do a mod for this, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just gonna, because obviously we're just doing a quick YouTube video, I'm just gonna add like 110 megahertz to this, just as a quick test. And yeah. So as you can see, we're hitting like almost 3 gigahertz, and obviously the manufacturing processes and lots of other stuff has been improved significantly. Now, also there was a news story that I didn't cover, and this is somewhat important to the RTX 50 series. Anyway, I just realized the microphone is literally like going up my nostril. Hang on a minute, guys. We're very professional here on this channel, as you can see. So yeah, if you're a regular viewer, you know that's not true. Anyway, so according to their official slides, we're looking at a 30% improvement with GDDR7. This is specifically improving, obviously, for ray tracing performance and other such things. Obviously, with the caveat that, well, that's assuming you're not in a compute-bound scenario. It does seem that Nvidia does run into memory bandwidth constraints quite frequently. It's going to be very interesting to see what the cache situation is like for Blackwell. I have heard through the grapevine that we are looking at a really beefed up. Basically, the whole cache on the GPU just seems to be different, but people are telling me slightly different things, but there seems to be the way that the caches are interconnected between the different SMs, excuse me. It's going to be very interesting to see, but obviously, ultimately, one of the big differentiators between RTX 40 and RTX 50 is the fact that we are looking at, well, just shit tons of additional memory bandwidth. They are not the only company. We also have SK Hynix and Micron, who have basically both said that we are going to be seeing significant performance upticks for the next generation of cards, courtesy again of this GDDR7 memory. AMD will not be utilizing it for RDNA 4, of course. That's going to be still GDDR6, but it doesn't really need it. Again, it's not like you know, they're releasing like an ultra high-end card. I'm going to be very interested to see whether these GPUs do launch this year. I kind of don't feel Nvidia need to. That's not to say that they won't, but ultimately, again, the market is somewhat down to Nvidia. If AMD were releasing like the MCM variants of RDNA 4, which obviously, again, have been cancelled, it would be a very different situation, but they're not, and, you know, therefore, Nvidia doesn't need to worry about it. Therefore, Blackwell can largely just be carved up how Nvidia chooses to. Let me know your thoughts on the prices down below, guys. Like, ultimately, the thing is, Nvidia are making money hand over fist in AI, but there is a lot of speculation that Nvidia doesn't care about gaming anymore, and I don't think that's true. Like, Nvidia would not be spending the amount of cash it is on a lot of the stuff that we're seeing in games, like obviously DLSS is continuing to evolve. We're obviously seeing a lot of, you know, just stuff in terms of their advancements in ray tracing, other game kind of stuff. So they're not going anywhere in gaming. The big question is, of course, are they going to be pushing as hard as if you know, you had AMD, for example, you know, competing with them in the high end? Obviously not. With that said, take care of yourselves. Have an amazing day. Bye for now.